7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
It's the 166th episode of Morning Kicks Extra.
Woo, 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 woo. Extra. We say it's extra because it's an extra dose of Randy and Jen.
And that may not seem like the best idea, but it is a great way to catch up on stuff you might have missed out on during the show.
Or if there's anything you want to listen to again.
Like our celebration of April Fool's Day.
And the weirdest compliment you've ever received.
Got a face for radio.
Let's get things kicked off.
On Morning Kicks Extra.
Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
In Grand Haven, Michigan, a 25-year-old man went on a rampage inside a Walmart last Friday evening, and he started yanking the TVs from the shelves and destroying them.
Then he got a metal pole and started striking merchandise down off the shelves until he finally made his way over to the glass display cases, the coolers, and the glass doors.
So all told, he destroyed 6 flat-screen TVs and at least 17 glass doors.
Must have been those locked glass case stores where Walmart keeps the really expensive stuff, like razor cartridges and baby food and toilet paper.
So the damage is still being totaled up from all the other products knocked from the shelves, but law enforcement believes that it could be up to thousands of dollars.
I thought the Hulk turned green before he did all this stuff.
You've heard of breaking and entering. This was like entering and breaking.
Yeah. When your NCAA brackets go bust early, sometimes you go a little crazy. Jen's Movie Rehab. And this is where we assign Jen a movie to go home and watch over the weekend, because before she came to Kick, she had seen very few movies.
And so someone would make a movie reference, and I would just have no idea what they were talking about. So every Friday, Randy assigns me a movie to watch. I watch over the weekend, and then I come back on Monday and let you know what I thought about it.
Hence, we are rehabilitating her.
Yeah, so what am I watching this weekend?
This weekend, you are not watching Good Will Hunting.
I want to watch Good Will Hunting. Come on.
You are watching Taxi Driver.
Okay, I'm guessing it's about a taxi driver.
Oh, look at you using those power of deduction skills.
Thank you. Particle particles.
Actually, it's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it is. It's a 1976 American neo-noir psychological drama film directed by Martin Scorsese. Yes.
What's a neo-noir? I don't even know what that means.
So noir means dark, and neo means a new dark. So it's a dark film. Okay, let's just say
dark is in like lots of fighting and blood, or dark as in it's like physically dark in the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Stars Robert De Niro, Jodie Foster, Sybil Shepherd, Harvey Keitel, Peter Boyle, Leonard Harris, Albert Brooks. That's Albert Brooks' first film role, by the way.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
You should. That's why we're rehabilitating you. It's set in a morally decaying New York City following the Vietnam War, which New York got really, really bad. All that Times Square you could not walk through at that time. Tells the story of De Niro's character, Travis Bickle, who suffers from insomnia and works as a New York City cabbie. He haunts the streets nightly, and he starts growing increasingly detached from reality as he dreams of cleaning up the filthy city. And when he meets this pretty campaign worker, Betsy, played by Sybil Shepherd, he becomes obsessed with the idea of saving the world to impress her, first plotting to assassinate a presidential candidate.
What?
And then he directs his attentions towards rescuing a very young 12-year-old prostitute named Iris, played by a very young Jodie Foster, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's rated R, definitely not one for the kiddos, and you can watch it for free, amazingly, on Max, or you can pay more than what you already do on one of the other price gouging streaming services.
And this is a classic movie?
Mm-hmm. This is the one, are you looking at me? You looking at me?
Okay, I know that line. Yeah.
Are you looking at? I don't see no one else here. It's just me. That is from this movie, and you will see the context around that. And finally, you will know what everyone's talking about when they do that whole thing.
So I'm going to watch Taxi Driver over the weekend, and then I'll come back on Monday, rank it 1 to 10, let you know what I thought about it.
With Jen's Movie Rehab.
Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
So they say the price of eggs is recovering slowly.
Very, very slowly.
Still not back where it was before the price of eggs went up so high. And you remember last week we were telling you about the Secretary of Agriculture was suggesting that people become chicken farmers.
Right, then you can have your own eggs from the chickens.
Anybody who has ever known chickens will tell you, don't do this. This is a trick.
Why?
Because mainly, number one, the poo. Okay, the poo is the number one reason, but there are lots of other reasons. They're hard to take care of. They get out. They're nasty. They're messy. They're noisy. It's not a good deal. They attract snakes and other predators.
Wait, why are they so hard to take care of? It's a chicken.
They get like digestive diseases.
Oh,
bird flu is a thing with them. But still, The poo is the big issue. They kill all the grass in any area that you keep them in. Some of the roosters think they're Puerto Rican fighting chickens, so you have to deal with the aggression that they have. Yeah, that chicken farming is never a good idea unless, I guess, eggs means that much to you. Egg farmers is what we will be. No, we won't.
Raising chickens is the life for me.
No, it isn't. Egg prices have become too high.
We're producing our very own egg supply.
Save dough.
Not zone.
Free eggs.
No way.
Look at that price.
Goodbye, suburban life.
Egg farmers in our yard.
Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
Because your bracket just totally busted.
All the number one seeds, I guess, are still in the running.
Yeah, they're still in the game.
But there were some upsets over the weekend. Quite a few upsets.
I mean, Arkansas and Ole Miss, I think, were two of the big ones that folks did not expect to advance as far as they have so far.
Made a lot of people happy, but regardless, a lot of brackets are thrown out the window.
Well, I think someone ought to apologize for all of our busted brackets.
It's not like you're going to get the NCAA to do it.
Well, that's why we've Mr. Morgan Freeman to do it for them.
Hello, I am your busted bracket. Oh, you had such high hopes for me when you filled me out and handed that crisp $10 bill to the guy running the office, fool.
That's true, I
I'm
did.
sorry if you were convinced that this was going to be your year. You even did a whole bunch of trash talking. But now, you're in dead last place. I sincerely hope that whoever wins the pool buys donuts for the office so you can eat them up.
Donuts!
Just like you're eating your words this morning. And it's all because I put the mad in March Madness. Apologetically yours, your busted bracket.
Morning Kicks Extra.
Happy April Fool!
It's April Fool's Day. Are you going to go and pull a bunch of pranks today?
I feel like I've already accomplished everything April Fool's wise that I've ever wanted to.
Like what?
I remember one year, I almost didn't get to come back home after that day because I set up a number of pranks at my home for my wife to wake up and enjoy.
Oh, no, Randy.
I wanted her to be able to enjoy the holiday like everyone else, so I saran wrapped the toilet.
No.
I loosened the salt and pepper shakers. I put rubber bands around the sprayer, on the sink faucet, so when she turned on the sink, a couple of them she did okay with, I guess, but the one at the sink, she had just gotten ready for work and she was running late. And
oh, no.
it soaked her before she was able to figure out what is going on. Had to go back and get ready again, and it made her late for work.
I bet she was furious.
She was furious. So I never did that to my wife again. One
Smart
time
man.
in a town that I used to live in, where I worked at another radio station, I fooled the entire town into believing that the stealth bomber was going to be doing a promotional flyover. This was like back in the 90s.
Okay.
And stealth bombers were still a relatively, you'd seen vague pictures and artist rendering of them, but nobody had really ever seen one. So we had a colonel from the Air Force on the radio, a pretend colonel, who said they were going to be doing a promotional flyover and told the time they could be expecting it and everything. Then, at that time, or a little bit before, we had the colonel back on, and he said they're running late. It's going to be another 30 minutes or so. Well, the thing is, he would come on every 25 or 30 minutes.
No.
And we had explained what's going on, and he would say they're running late again and have a different excuse. They had a flat tire on the runway or whatever. Well, I did not know they had let out all the area schools and put them kids on buses and took them to that end of town.
Oh, my God.
They had
Randy.
blocked off the downtown area, and someone took a picture from on top of the courthouse, overlooking the square, where there's thousands of people
Of course,
with their faces upturned. I left town that night because I was afraid they were going to come burn my house down.
Well, yeah, with pitchforks and everything.
So for years after that, and to this day, when I go to that town, they'll say, "Have seen stealth bombers lately?" They remember that stuff.
Oh, you're never going to live it
Never.
down.
So for anybody who's dealing with April Fools, rather than telling you that the stealth bombers are going to be doing a promotional flyover,
Smart man.
we thought we would punish you like this. Whoopee cushion on my seat,
Toilet paper in my tree.
and somebody put for sale signs on my lawn.
Plastic dog poop on the floor.
Bucket of water on the door.
And I just opened a big confetti bomb.
Morning Kicks Extra.
We're talking about the weirdest compliment you've ever received.
Maybe it wasn't even you that received it. Maybe you just heard somebody else saying it to someone else.
Yeah, so what's the weirdest compliment you've ever heard?
I have been told that I look homely, but in a good way.
Yeah, that's not a compliment.
Not sure how that is in a good way, but okay. And then the other one, my husband, when we were teenagers, told me I had cow eyes. How in the world are you close enough to a cow to see that I have the same eyes as them?
Oh, it sounds like he spends a lot of time with them in his homeliness.
What does cow eyes even mean? I don't understand that. Like
soft doe eyes. You've heard of doe eyes, right?
I've heard of doe eyes. Are doe eyes the same thing as cow eyes?
I think, except there's more dough in them.
What is the weirdest compliment you've ever heard?
I was told by somebody at work one day that I would be pretty if I could lose some weight.
Oh, that's not right. That's not right at all. What the heck? Did you knock him out?
No.
Well, you should have.
Any guy who's stupid enough to say that needs to be taken out.
Well, thank you.
They're using up necessary consciousness that somebody else could benefit from.
What is the weirdest compliment that you've ever heard?
Well, mine's usually a compliment I give. It's usually when I see Randy Brooks out in public and I go up to him and tell him he's got a pretty mouth or he's got great legs.
Yeah, and I really wish you wouldn't.
I just need a polka dot dress to go with him.
Okay. Oh,
and some Daisy Dukes, maybe?
Here we go.
What's the weirdest compliment that you've ever given or received or heard?
I used to work at a preschool, and when I was working, I was playing with this little girl, and she told me, "You are so smart and funny, and I just wish I could be just like you, except for not so puffy." And I looked at her, I'm like, "What do you mean, puffy?" She puts her hand on my stomach, and then she goes, puffy.
Puffy! The honesty of children.
Kids.
You know, puffy. Like the marshmallow lady.
It's Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
We're talking about the weirdest compliment that you've ever heard of.
Maybe that you've ever received, you've ever given, or you heard someone else give.
When I was growing up, my dad had to pay my brothers to be good, but he didn't have to pay me. He said I was always good for nothing.
That's pretty good. What's the weirdest compliment you've ever heard of?
You have a Victoria's Secret butt. There's just too much of it.
Wait a minute.
You have a Victoria's Secret, but there's just too much of it.
Okay.
How can there ever be too much?
Well, apparently for that person there was, yeah. What's the weirdest compliment you've ever received?
I hadn't worn makeup for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And nobody really said anything to me. And then one day, came to work, had makeup on, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're feeling so much better. You look wonderful."
You know what? People do that to me here, too.
They don't mean it, though, Jen.
And then that pisses you off, doesn't it?
Right? Like, yes, I spent a little extra time getting ready today. I may have put makeup on, but that doesn't mean I was feeling bad before.
Exactly.
By the way, we really apprate when you take the extra
Okay,
effort.
come on now. What is the weirdest compliment that you've ever received?
Somebody thought I was a guy one time.
What?
Okay, tell us the story.
He thanked me for help, and he's like, "Well, you must do really well with the ladies." I'm like, "Well, not really. I am one. And I'm really busty, so I'm clearly cannot be mistaken for a guy."
Maybe he just thought you were a guy with like really, really, really big man boobs.
Regardless, it's just weird, all right?
It's Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
We've been talking about the weirdest compliment that you've ever heard, whether it was for you or not.
Probably the one that you guys have always heard is that you have a face for radio.
Oh my gosh! Yes, that is the biggest veiled insult you can give someone in radio.
Yeah, we know what it means.
We know what you're talking about. You're talking about Jen.
Wait a second.
What's the weirdest compliment that you've ever heard from someone?
Okay, I was at a bar one time singing karaoke.
Right.
And a guy came up to me at the bar and told me that I had really sexy eyebrows.
What?
I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
What'd you say to him?
I told him nobody had ever told me that before.
Yeah, because, that is kind of a weird attribute to notice on someone.
Of all my attributes, he thought I had sexy eyebrows.
And I believe the correct way to pronounce that's attribute.
Attribute?
All your attributes.
No, it's attribute.
No, I think it's attribute.
It's definitely attribute.
You don't have to be so spicy about it.
Isn't it attribute? Gosh darn it.
Did you get up on the left-hand side of the bed this morning?
No, that's not a thing.
I
this
think
is going
it
to turn
was.
into marinara mozzarella stick sauce.
Well, certain marinaras have different attributes.
Gosh, what is the weirdest compliment you've ever received?
I was told by an old lady that I look like I'm trying to lose weight.
Can you confirm that?
No, I wasn't trying to lose weight.
What does that even look like? I mean, were you...
I have no idea, because you look like you're trying to lose weight.
Does that mean you look hungry?
Or sweaty?
I have no idea.
Well, all right, but at
What do
least
you say
look
to that?
like you are.
I guess.
It's Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
Hey, join us on the next edition of Morning Kicks Extra.
We're going to be talking about your cell phone horror stories.
That time you sent the picture to the wrong person, and that did not end well.
In the meantime, don't forget to check out our blog at kicks1025.com.
You can check out all of the latest Morning Kicks karaoke songs.
And you can watch us live on most social platforms every weekday morning starting at 7.
Make sure to like, follow, and smash that subscribe button.
Don't miss Morning Kicks with Randy and Jen. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on the 4 states' #1 for country, Kicks 102.5.